want to do look more like?
What's up, Zambu crew? It's your boy Ikesman, and we're back here with another video. Today we got some interesting news. We got some breaking news. Alex Jones ordered to pay $45 million in pentuins and pantonins, in pentuitive and pantinives and puntinives, however you say that word, damages. But let's see what this cocksucker has to say, because apparently, you know, he's getting sued for just speaking, because you could get sued for anything nowadays. Let's check out what he has to say.
We're following this breaking news with the verdict coming out of the Alex Jones trial, and we're talking about punitive damages here. Of course, the compensatory damages yesterday were issued to the family there that was suing Jones. This is one of 3 trials that we're going to be watching. Yesterday, the compensatory damages were, I believe, $4 million.
Damn, 3 trials.
Now getting the verdict in for these punitive damages, in which the attorneys for the Sandy Hook families said, in fact, you should punish this guy. He is worth, it seems, upwards of $270 million. And we're hearing now on question 1. Is
$270 million? This man, because this man is worth over $200 million, they think it's okay to sue him because he's worth that much. Yo, you really could just sue for anything nowadays. I swear. You just have to come up with something and you could sue. It doesn't have to be something good. It could be something, anything. Freaking, I could just be like, oh, I'm gonna sue Apple. Why? Because it made me a dumbass. Like, I'm dumb because of Apple. Oh, now give me millions of dollars, please, because you made me dumb. It's the same thing. Same thing.
$2 million in punitive damages, Danny Savalos. Question 2, $20.5 million. And then number 3 is $20.5 million as well. So we're looking at a total of punitive damages for this first trial being around, what, $44 million.
Right, but if they're doing it by counts, I don't know how many, there may be more counts than just those 3. So I don't know if they're finished reading the verdict yet, but so what they're saying is they're adding up, they're apparently dividing it by each count. If the answer to the first question is, you know, what do you award on this count? What do you award on this count?
Yeah.
So we're seeing that those would be aggregated. So if you said 4 million, 20 million, and 20 million, we're looking at about 44 million, if that's the math that is coming in. And of course, we're just getting this in as we're talking here. So
yeah, so it's a total of $45.2 million in punitive damages.
You really could just be rich off suing. You know, suing should be a career, should be a job. You can go and you can literally be financially stable just suing. And then you can sue off of anything. Literally, I've heard a story where a guy sued another guy because he hit him with his car. And he said, oh, because you hit me with my car, I turned gay. So I'm going to sue you. And he won. So I just think if you have a good enough lawyer and that's all. Nothing else. You don't need a good idea. You don't need a reasonable thought. It just seems like you just need to have a good enough lawyer to fight your stupidity for you. Like, oh yeah, so since now that my client is gay, he's going to need millions of dollars because you turned him that way. You didn't want to be like that. Like, what the hell do you even say about that?
For this lawsuit filed by the parents of a Sandy Hook shooting victim, Jesse Lewis.
Right. So your total is $44 million. Now, the interesting part is that Texas has a punitive damages cap. It's a bit of
dollars, and then number 3 is $20.5 million as well. So we're looking at a total of punitive damages for this first trial.
You know what really grinds my gears? There's people out here being millionaires just from suing, and I'm here in my house, broken poor.
Being around, what, $44 million.
Right, but if they're doing it by counts, I don't know how many, there may be more counts than just those 3. So I don't know if they're finished reading the verdict yet, but so what they're saying is they're adding up, they're apparently dividing it by each count. If the answer to the first question is, what do you award on this count? What do you award on this count?
Yeah.
So we're seeing that those would be aggregated. So if you said 4 million, 20 million, and 20 million, we're looking at about 44 million, if that's the math that is coming in. And of course, we're just getting this in as we're talking here. So
yeah, so it's a total of $45.2 million in punitive damages for this lawsuit by the parents of Sandy Hook shooting victim, Jesse Lewis.
Right. So your total is
man's worth over 200 million.
Is that Texas has a punitive damages cap. It's a bit of a complicated formula, but the bottom line is that the maximum that I believe they would have been entitled to, the plaintiffs, is doubling of the compensatory damages award. So that gets you to 8.
You could double it
plus $750,000. So at most, I believe the most they could have gotten is $8,750,000. So some of that might be overage that the plaintiffs will never see. And of course, I may have calculated my Texas punitive damages wrong. Not a Texas lawyer. Haven't dealt with that punitive damages rule. But the point is there is a cap, and it is a sliding scale, that cap. It depends, believe it or not, on the award of compensatory damages. It's a multiple of what the compensatory damages are. There was an interview yesterday with the plaintiff's attorney, and he was talking of the multiples. And I believe that's what he meant, is that the limit on your punitive damages depends on what you got for compensatory damages.
This is obviously something that the jury does not necessarily know. They have not been advised of.
They do not. And to me, I think the plaintiffs, the reason they were asking for such a big number is for nothing else than the symbolic value, to hang that kind of verdict on Alex Jones, even if the punitive damages cap in Texas precludes them from ever actually recovering it. It is still a good number to hang on Alex Jones as a defendant in this case. So that may have been part of the strategy for asking for that kind of number. But again, even...
Oh, butter done. Even, like, what the hell is this news guy even going on about? He's just rambling. Look at him. He's over here talking about Alex Jones, and they're showing a picture of an old man crying that is not Alex Jones. What the hell? And they're just repeating the same things over and over and over again. This is like probably the easiest job in the world. I could do this. They're reading off a teleprompter. I could do without one. Hey, welcome. Good morning to our newscast Zenbu station, where you get your latest and greatest news updates. And today, we're going to begin with the weather. Over to you, Ike Smith. Well, today is hot as balls. So, go get your cooling fans, your cooling towels, sit in front of your AC, nice cold cup of lemonade, because you're going to be sweating your balls off. Alright, on to you, Ike Smith. And thank you, Ike Smith. In today's news, breaking news. Alex Jones ordered to pay $45.2 million in punitive damages. Well, this is what I have to say. Leave the man alone. Ha 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 ha. No, I'm just joking, guys, but it's so easy. Like, these people are reading off teleprompters saying the same thing. It's like, give me some facts. Alex Jones, he's getting sued for $4.52 million because these things that he has said. He's getting sued because these people are feeling this type of way towards him, and they believe that they can receive all this money from him because he is worth $270 million. So now we are going to go and deeper into this case. Do we believe that this is a good enough reason? Like, come on, talk about something else than all you're saying is, well, you got 44, you got 20 million over here, you got another 20 million over here, 44 million over here. You can get this much. Shut up.
Any of these numbers in punitive damages cases are different from compensatories because the jury is not thinking about, they're not looking at medical bills or, trying to put a dollar value on an injury to a shoulder or a leg. They're going in the back room and saying, how angry are we?
How angry are we? That's literally the question that they're
look at. They're suing based off the anger. How angry are we so we can sue this mother sucker and get him for everything we got? Yeah. So you could just be angry and sue. You could sue because you're mad. You don't even need a freaking real reason. These people don't. They're like, how angry are we? Like, what?
David Henderson, who's been standing by for us as well, to just get some reaction on this verdict. David, talk to me. We're hearing now $45.2 million essentially in punitive damages here. That's in addition to yesterday's verdict of 4.1 in compensatory damages. What's your reaction?
Yasmin, that sends a huge message, which is what you hope for in this case, because regardless of how much families actually get to take home, these big verdicts do send a message. And I think they also help the family with closure.
When the voice doesn't match the face. Yeah, I think the family should go and get the verdicts and then tell them through, and we should go and see what our goal is to do, and we should go inside the place, inside of the house of the people, and we should understand that their minds are upset, and that we should return their monies, and then they will be mad with more money. Like, what? Why are you talking like that?
Danny hit the nail on the head, as usual, though, with regard to Texas law. We're a tort reform state, so we severely limit...
We're turning more state. We are sinners limit, and what families can take home. His math is correct.
Non-compensatory damages are capped at $750,000. And here's the way you think about that. Damages that you can show a receipt for, you multiply those by 2, then you add the damages you can't show a receipt for, like pain and suffering, but those are capped at $750. Basically, all of the damages in this case are pain and suffering damages.
I can make $750,000 from pain and suffering.
$1 million. He will pay $1.5 million, which shows how woefully inadequate our laws are.
Well, that's exactly right, because when you think about how much he's possibly worth, upwards of $270 million, and the pain that he caused these families because of the lies that he spread, and he's essentially just paying $1 million or so, that's a drop in the bucket for a guy like Alex Jones, even with 2 more trials ahead. He knows going into this, there's a cap to everything.
Welcome to Raid Shadow Legends.
So all he had to do is pay a couple million because he's rich like that.
All of his antics, all of his offensive behavior, which the jury obviously rejected, or they wouldn't have given this reward. This reward, based on the law, indicates that he won. That's right. The amount that he actually pays is minimal. And we need to ask ourselves some hard questions about why that type of result should be in place when the jury clearly wanted something different. And you have to remember, the jury is there to speak on behalf of the people. They're there to speak on behalf of all of us who clearly want a different result than what the law is going to allow for.
Danny, are there other caps in states outside of Texas, or is this kind of just more particular to the state of Texas?
Oh, yes. There are caps in lots of states. You most commonly see them in medical malpractice cases. And David is absolutely right. I mean, these caps, you usually see them in conservative states where they've tried to limit what they describe as runaway juries or runaway plaintiffs' attorneys. And look, I'm biased. I do plaintiffs' work. But you see, especially in med mal cases, in this case, it's harder to see because at its core, these damages award...
protections for corporations.
Of course, it's defendant protections for doctors, protections for corporations, defendants in general. It's a little harder to see the injustice here because at its core, this was always a difficult damages case to calculate. But you think about it in the med mal context, sometimes people need care for an injury that was caused to them by malpractice, and they need $100,000 worth of care every year. And when you look at it that way, you know, $1 million cap, it doesn't seem like as much as it might to other folks. It might seem like a big dollar amount to the legislature.
Let me get $1 million
when you
then.
Look at lifetime care costs, I mean, multi-million. So these caps are illusory. They are not really, they're not helping regular folks. It's not about runaway juries. It's not about plaintiffs' attorneys getting rich. It really isn't. But then again, keep in mind, I'm biased because I actually practice a lot of plaintiffs' work.
David, it seems to me at the end of the day, this is really a message that the Sandy Hook families wanted to be sent, right? This obviously is not about money for them. I mean, this is about the children, the babies that they lost, and the emotional damage that they faced, but also to send a message that you can't do this to people, right? Because they knew going into this cap existed. I'm sure they had been advised by their own attorneys this, in fact, was in place. And at the end of the day, he was not going to have to pay out a lot, no matter what the jury awarded them.
Yasmin, that's exactly right. And unfortunately, a big part of my experience as a lawyer involves dealing with parents in court who had something terrible happen to their child. Whenever you see that there's a big award, regardless of what people are going to take home,
they're acting like this man did the works.
What's good for your life is bad for your case. What's bad for your case is good for your life. So these big numbers reflect these people went through a substantial amount of suffering because of what Jones did. And if you ask
suffering succotash,
none of this had ever happened.
Exactly.
And in that context, yes, this sends a very important message that the jury agreed with them. And again, since they speak on behalf of the people, what they state really should carry the day. And it's unfortunate here that it's not going to.
Again, I will restate, the jury has awarded Sandy Hook families that have sued Alex Jones in punitive damages a total of $45 million. Today, that is in.
You guys been saying the same thing over and over.
The first of 3
Holy crap!
Watching with this.
Damn. I don't know if I'm watching the video on repeat or like what. Y'all have been saying families have been suing for 45 million punitive damage. Families are suing for 45 million punitive damage. Families are suing for 45 million. They will be rewarded and then blah blah blah. Like, gosh, damn. Damn. Yeah. But let me tell you something, guys. I can easily run the news single-handedly. No problem, no issue, no hesitation. Just give me a topic, and I'll give you the news. Give me some information, and I'll give you the news. Alex Jones, older gentleman who has lots of books, lots of information, a lot of knowledge and success in his life. This man, he just speaks his mind, he speaks the truth. And for that, he is being punished. I say free Alex Jones. Free Alex Jones. Free Alex Jones. And Alex Jones, if you can hear this, come to my podcast and let's talk. Yeah, like real men. Real men sit down and talk. We don't sue each other for millions of dollars. We just go and take the millions of dollars. It'll be great to have Alex Jones here. But, like I said, I might just turn this into like a little news station. Reacting to news and how stupid they sound. Yeah! Well, guys, I'll definitely have more content. I have a lot of more content coming for you soon. More reaction videos. Interesting topic. Hopefully a guest will come in later episodes. Soon, make it a super spectacular special edition episode. You guys would get to hear some crazy and great, amazing stories, and that would freaking have you dying, dying to the point where you're silent laughing. And you know that silent laugh, where there's nothing coming out. You're just suffering for just a breath of air. Like, you guys, but it's so funny, you can't. You just can't. You can't what? You can't even. You can't even. So, today's episode is brought to you by Everything Bagels, where you can get the best tasting bagels, a little bit of cream cheese, jelly, or butter spread, and you have yourself a great, amazing Zenbu bagel. Yeah, $5.99. Viewers' discretion is advised. Thank you. Come again. Bye. Have a beautiful time.